Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Where the Heck Are the Albans? And where the heck are the Albans? Well, this is part two of our trip to Hannibal, Missouri. And this is part of the cave, the Mark Twain Cave. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I almost chucked this whole part of the vlog because it was so hard to edit. That's why you actually haven't seen me for a couple days. The cave, the cave is awesome. It really is. The tour, I think there was just too many people on the tour. There was probably about 30 to 35 people on this tour. And the maximum there should be is probably about 10 to 15. Only you couldn't hear the girl. Her microphone wasn't loud enough because we were at the very end, and all you heard was just weird echoes and things like that. I was not happy with it at all. I'm attempting to kind of do a talk over, so that's kind of what you're going to see, and I'll tell you some of the stories that she told us along the way. But you'll also kind of see some me jerking around the camera a little bit, and that's because there was some really rude people in the cave as well. They walk right in front of you, they bump you. I actually got pushed out of the way twice. That's not the fault of the cave owners or anything, it was just rude people. So although I'm not very happy with the results of this vlog, I hope you guys enjoy it. So here it is, the Mark Twain Cave. Hope you like it. It is a rainy day today. Tomorrow is supposed to be much nicer. So we are going to go through the town and see the boyhood home of Mark Twain, and where Huckleberry Finn lived, and Becky Thatcher, and we'll see the whole town. And we're going to do that tomorrow when it's nicer out. So today we want to do some indoor activities. Well, sort of outdoors, or indoors, and it's an indoor-outdoor. Huh? We're going to go to the caves. So the Mark Twain Cave is our next stop. Okay, we are now at the Mark Twain Cave. It was discovered in 1819. Okay, so we have our tickets to go into the cave. But this place is interesting because you start and exit through the gift shop. But a lot of mining stuff. You can get, I like the magic eggs. That's kind of cool. It's got the phosphorescence in it, so they glow. But look at that. Isn't that cool? I like this one too. Look at that. All right. Can actually get some gold right there. Becky wants to get one of these gemstone trees, like bonsai trees. They got the different gemstones on it. Those are kind of neat.
Look at all these geodes.
Okay, so we just got about another 15 minutes left before the next tour. So just decided to kind of walk outside. It somewhat stopped raining. I think it's just got a little sprinkle. But this is a very nice area, though. They got a campsite right over here. Right back here. There's a campsite, but they do have some stores and cabins. And real nice area. Let's see what this is here. It says Liberty Tree. Look at the size of this thing. Wow, that is tall. As part of our nation's bicentennial, the Missouri Department of Conservation recognized certain trees throughout Missouri as Liberty trees. This bur oak started out as a seedling in 1731 and is included in famous and historic trees of the United States by the Department of Agriculture. So 1731. This thing is massive. Very cool. First place we go is inside of a theater. We're gonna watch a video. So the areas in red are going to be on our tour.
Alright, can everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Alright, we will be traveling on the red line today. We will only be walking about a half of a mile. The cave altogether is about 3 miles long. There are 260 passageways throughout the cave. And if you guys look over here, some of the point of views we will see on the way, I will point them out as we pass by. Now, if everyone can look up at the hill for me, you guys will see our discovery entrance. This was discovered in 1819 by a man named Jack Sims. His dog chased the cougar down there one winter. And back behind the men and women's restroom, you guys use the restroom. If you look back there, you could have seen our John East entrance. As you do exit, look down in the bathroom because you'll see it on the hill. That was the first entrance that was dug out in 1886. It also was the first tour guiding entrance. John East dug out himself and gave tours through it. And right here we have our lovely 1890 entrance. This entrance was lost out in 1890. And our fourth entrance is our tunnel entrance. It was created in 1979 and it leads into the gift shop. By surprise. Now we do have a few rules in the cave. There's no food or drink allowed in the cave. No climbing, no writing. And you guys can take pictures if you'd like. And if the last person could shut the doors, we do enter.
Okay, this is my attempt to do a little voiceover. This is the map of the caves. As she said, we will be walking about a half a mile of everything that you see outlined in red. But there are over 260 passages, so very easy to get lost. What she's showing us now is basically how the caves were formed. A few million years ago, this entire section was underwater, and it was the rushing water that actually formed these caves. The ground, which is I'm trying to show you right now, is actually just super smooth, and that was just caused by water eroding it away. There's no steep inclines throughout the cave. Well, there's a few little inclines, but nothing super steep. No ladders to climb, no stairs to climb. So pretty cool. What she's trying to show us now is people actually thought there were diamonds in the cave, and they tried to chip some out many years ago, back in the 1800s and stuff. But it wound up just being quartz, just some crystals, and there are several spots in the or out through the cave that are just covered in these things. It's quite beautiful. Just kind of showing you some of the passageways, the different passageways that this thing is just like a huge maze. But the cave itself is very well lit, and you just kind of follow along with your tour guide. But like I said, you can peek down some of these little avenues, and you could see where people could get lost in here very easily. This was Jesse James's hideout. He was known to have stayed in the caves when he was robbing banks through Missouri, and that was one of his hideouts, was inside this cave. They actually have a signature of Jesse James in here, and we'll show you that in just a second. This is Alligator Rock, so named because it's shaped like a huge alligator just sitting in the floor. This next section, I actually have no idea what I'm looking at. Oh, these are signatures. All throughout the 1800s, early 1900s, people would venture into the caves and they would sign their names. And the most popular way to do it was to make a burn mark and scratch your name into it. This is called Autograph Alley. This is where the most signatures are found, only because I think probably people were a little nervous venturing into the caves on their own. This is before it was actually lit with electricity. People would go in there with lanterns and torches and so forth, and candles. But yeah, all these names in here, hundreds and hundreds of names scattered throughout the cave. So they would either burn it and then scratch into it, or they would just take the actual soot from a campfire or anything that they had, and they would write their names into it. This is the post office. The post office is in Mark Twain's book, Tom Sawyer. He would leave notes for Becky, and Becky would leave notes for him. And they would pick up their notes, their little love letters. Just walking through the caves now. As you can see, some of the parts are a little narrow, but it didn't feel claustrophobic at all, really. It's pretty well lit, and like I said, in some parts of the cave it gets really wide, but it is fascinating. I missed that sign. I don't know what it said. Ah, this part of the cave. You see way down there in the end, there's a light down there. She lights up different sections of the cave. Right now, as she's showing us where Jesse James' signature is. They don't allow anybody back there. I put a little arrow there where Jesse James' signature is, because he wrote it in pencil, and people would touch it and start to smear it. But there's a picture of Jesse James' signature. This arrow right here is part of the macabre. There was a doctor, and this is the doctor right here, Dr. McDowell, and he was a grave robber, and he would do experiments inside the cave and try to figure out how to petrify a person. And right there where that arrow is, he actually took his deceased 14-year-old daughter, placed her in a coffin type glass cylinder with alcohol, and kept her in there for 3 years. Children discovered it, got scared out of their minds, and he was forced to remove her. C.E. Tucker, he really liked to sign his name. You can find his signature in over 200 spots throughout the cave. She made a little joke there that said, he must have been pretty tuckered out. Okay, I believe we are going to the parlor. This was a photo that I took of the girls inside the parlor. Big, huge area, very wide. That rock that you see right in front of us, they call that the grand piano. It was in the Tom Sawyer stories. This is where the lights went out, bats flew by and blew out their candles, and they got lost. I think she told a joke. That's why the girls were laughing. But they did get lost, and Tom basically had to try to find his way out of the caves in complete darkness. They do turn off the lights completely in here, but I had to turn off the camera because the light of the camera would affect the effect of it. But it was pitch black. It was the furthest spot away from the entrance where they do this. They also show you what it would look like if you just had a couple candles in there. After your eyes adjust, it got pretty decent, but for the most part it was pitch black. This is a slight downgrade. It used to be a 10-foot drop off, and you used to have to go down inside of it by climbing a ladder down. But due to safety regulations, things like that, they wound up filling that part in with concrete so you could just do a gradual walk down that 10-foot part. That is called the anvil right there. The little piece that I'm trying to focus in on is called the boot. But she's shining a light on a cross. There's a part in Tom Sawyer where they bury some treasure, Injun Joe, and they overhear Injun Joe talking about it, and he says, "Meet me under the cross." Well, that was the cross right there. And down in this pit, that is where the treasure was. This is another shot, I believe, of the boot. Yes, there's the boot. And another shot of the anvil. And there's the treasure right there. People do throw money down in there. They do collect the money, and it goes to preservation of the cave. This is called I believe it's called the Devil's Backbone. She's showing us where a whirlpool had formed inside the cave millions of years ago, and it made those strange markings on the ceiling up there where those big holes are. So that is where the whirlpools were. The part that's lit in red, that's the Devil's Backbone. As you walk by it, you're supposedly you're able to see the face of the devil himself. And we're walking, and if you kind of look right in the center of the screen, I'll tell you when. Right now, there is the face. That's the face right there in the middle, the face of the devil. And now you walk very jagged walls of the cave, and that is the Devil's Backbone. That is the light, and that is from one of the entrances to the cave. We're at a part of the cave right now called 5 Points. All the entrances to the cave will lead to this one point, and it goes off in 5 different directions. So you can enter any part of those entrances and you'll wind up right there. You have to cross that path. I believe this one was called the Cascades. It's just a natural rock formation, and it's very smooth. This was the Frozen Waterfall. You can see it right there. That's where somebody pushed me out of the way. Little hard to see, but this is called Aladdin's Palace. It's sort of shaped like an Arabian castle, and Mark Twain dubbed it Aladdin's Palace. Coming up here, this is where my battery died. So that is they call the slide. I don't know exactly what we were looking at there. This is just some artifacts that they found inside the cave over the years. Old lanterns, candles, different things like that. This was a small bat that ventured out of the cave and was right at the very exit. And that is the John East. That is the John East entrance. We saw that from the inside. Okay, we have checked into our hotel. It is called the Sleep Inn, and that is right outside of Hannibal. Um, but I'll give you a quick tour of the room. Look at all those towels. Wow, we got a lot of towels down there. So, nice big bathroom, though. We got big sink. Once again, everybody knows what that is. Big shower. But the bathroom itself is a really big space. You got an actual closet for your coats. Comes with an iron. I didn't see if the bathroom came with a hairdryer. It usually does, right? Yeah, it does. Look at that. There it is. Okay. Big tall mirror.
We need one of those in our house.
Hi. We need one of these in our house?
Yeah.
And look, everybody's just kind of crashing right now. We just got in, so but everybody's already jumped into a bed. So Vivian Emerson will sleep here, and Becky's hiding for some reason. Hi, Becky. Why are you hiding?
I'm hiding.
But yeah, so 2 queen beds, little dresser in between, big long area over here. That's a big long desk, but it comes with a refrigerator and a microwave, lots of drawers and space, a little Mr. Coffee single cup thing. We got decent size. What is going on? What happened?
My hand got squeezed.
Your hand got squeezed? Yeah, by mommy? Yeah, good job. Anyway, we got a nice big TV.
That's my wrist. You can't do that. I broke that.
Of course, your standard heater, air conditioner. It is pretty cold. It's still rainy out. Kind of poopy out tonight. So we're in for the night. Okay, so I just wanted to end the vlog right here. We did go out to dinner right after we just kind of rested up a little bit, and but I didn't film that dinner only because they played really loud music and everything is copywritten and couldn't do anything about that. So so we didn't film that one. But one thing I did want to mention about that doctor that kept his 14-year-old deceased daughter in the cave. Interesting story. His name was Dr. Joseph Nash McDowell. He actually purchased the cave and owned it for like 10 years. He was a brilliant surgeon. But he actually wanted to learn the effects of how a cave would act on a dead body. But he would go out and get body parts, arms, legs, things like that. And they basically called him Mad Dr. McDowell. But really fascinating story. They have a couple books on him, and I would highly recommend those books. Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain, is actually one of the people that actually saw the dead girl's body. Basically, it was a glass cylinder and brass. He filled it up with alcohol and put the body of his deceased daughter in there. She died of a disease, and he kept her in that back area of the cave. I'm going to read to you something that Samuel Clemens wrote in Life on the Mississippi. In my time, the person who owned the cave turned it into a mausoleum for his daughter, age 14. The body of this poor child was put in a copper cylinder filled with alcohol and this suspended in one of the dismal avenues of the cave. Well, the older kids would take the young kids and tell ghost stories and then wind up showing them the body, and it scared the bejesus out of them. So after a few complaints, the parents got involved and basically said, look, this body's got to be removed. And so it stayed there for 3 years, and after he removed the body and then was about to give her a proper burial, he asked other doctors, how long do you think she's been dead? And many of the doctors said maybe 3 weeks. She had been in there for 3 years. And in the process of all this, accidentally discovered the embalming fluid that is used today. How about that? So this very macabre thing that happened actually turned into what everybody uses today as far as embalming fluid. So who knew? Who'd have thunk it? All right, well, that's it for this vlog. Stay tuned. The next vlog will be coming up, and that is Downtown Hannibal. You don't want to miss this one. This one's really cool. The boyhood homes of Mark Twain and his friends that are all based on the characters in Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn. There was an actual boy that he based Huck Finn on, and a girl that he named Becky Thatcher. Or the character's named Becky Thatcher. So check that out. That's coming up soon. If not tomorrow, it'll be the next day, I promise. All right. If you like what you see, as always, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below, and we'll see you guys next time on Where the Heck Are the Albans? Bye-bye, everybody.